Hi, this is Christian from SSW, and today I'm going to show you how SSW.People automatically assigns reviewers to pull requests. Let's check it out. On SSW.People, you can suggest changes via a pull request to modify someone's profile. This is great for improvements and typos, but what if the person doesn't want that change on their profile, or it's written that way for a reason? Ideally, the person should be added as a reviewer on the pull request. This notifies them of a change being made and allows them to accept or reject before it's merged into their profile. The problem is sometimes people forget to add that person as a reviewer, including myself, which means they are never notified of the change. We built some logic to automatically add the person as a reviewer when someone submits a change. So anytime a profile is modified through a pull request, the person that owns the profile is added as a reviewer and notified by email. Let's have a look at some architecture diagrams on how we did this. There are two GitHub actions and a Power Automate flow that automates this process. Here, where someone modifies a profile, they can create a pull request, and this pull request will trigger the GitHub action. The GitHub action then pulls the config file. This config file tells the GitHub action which profile belongs to which person. It reads that in, and then it adds that person to the pull request, and then they're notified by email. So let's see this in action. So I'm on SSW.People, and I'm just going to make a small change to Sebastian's profile. So if we edit his profile there, we can see his markdown. We'll click edit this file, and we'll just add a space here. And if we scroll down, I'm just going to add a description. There we go. Commit those. There's my description. And then I'm just going to create that pull request. The GitHub action will be kicked off. Here we go. We've got the auto assign PR assign reviewer pull request. And there we go. Sebastian's been added to the pull request because I modified his particular profile, and he'll be notified by email indicating that he's a reviewer on the pull request. So a core component of this process is the config file. So we'll have a look at how that's created now. So here we've got the auto generation of the config file. So when someone updates their GitHub URL in CRM, that triggers the logic app. This logic app then regenerates the config file with everyone's name and GitHub URL, so that gets put into blob storage, and then it pulls the GitHub token from Key Vault and then triggers the GitHub action to update the config file. This GitHub action will then download the config file from blob storage and update the file in the repository. So let's look at this Power Automate flow here. On CRM, under our SSW.People solution, we have this on GitHub URL update to HTTP GitHub assigned by files. So this is the Power Automate flow that updates the config file. So if we open that one now, here we have the trigger when a GitHub URL is updated. This allows people to change their GitHub URL if need be, or if they don't already have one, when they add a new one, they'll be added to the config file. Here we just check the current employees with GitHub URLs, so we grab a list of them. This is the beginning of the file, so this allows us to have a few comments or put some static configuration if we require it. And then we loop through all the employee records, and then we're building these configuration entries, and then we're just appending that to the config file, and then we update the blob assigned by files, so we push that up. We get the GitHub token from Key Vault, and we need this to trigger the GitHub action that's run on the repository. So if we have a look at the config file that's outputted by this, here we go. So this is in blob storage, so we've got our messages up the top, and then we've got two configuration entries. And if we flick back to our config file for comparison, here we go, 2 entries. And that's everything. This was Christian from SSW, and today I showed you how SSW.People automatically assigns reviewers to pull requests. Thank you for watching.